Hello and welcome to another video. Now, in this video we're going to talk about how to create a blog, and if you are in Kenya, you're probably familiar with blogs such as Biko Zulu, bikozulu.co.ke. If you visited bikozulu.co.ke, you'll find a blog, and blogs basically are websites that are geared to help to share the author's thoughts, whether that be photography or written text or poetry. You can write blogs that are focused on different perspectives. Now, Biko has chosen to target text, so he writes something beautiful every week, and he publishes it mostly in text. If you can click like one of this, his latest post, you can see that in this post he has a photo, splash photo up here, and then has text that is talking about a certain topic. Now, Biko chooses the comedic approach, and you can check out his blog, it's good. But it's one of the blogs that are doing well. Now, if you want to create something like this, what Biko has done, it's actually quite simple. The first thing that you need to do is first to think of your name. What's your blog name? The name that you will choose for your blog is going to be the brand name that is going to identify your brand as a blog. So I would advise that you choose it wisely. Biko chose Biko Zulu. His name is Jackson Biko. So it's a name that works for him, and he's been identified by that. So people would most likely know Biko from the Biko Zulu than if you just say Biko. So choose a name wisely, and after you've chosen a name, the next thing that you need to do is visit web hosts. And Hostpoa is a web hosting company. Hostpoa.co.ke should get you there. And with hostpoa.co.ke, we are a web hosting company that allows you to create hosting. Now, I'll need to explain two terms. First is that we help people get domain names, and a domain name is a name in which your website is identified by. And then other than the name that which your website is identified by, we also help you to create a space where your website will be stored and accessed all over the world. And this is called hosting, web hosting. So what we do is we create both domain names and web hosting packages. And the first thing that you'd probably want to do is to search for the name that you have. So for instance, my name is Anthony, and I'm going to search for anthony.co.ke and see whether that name is available. Now, once I search for it, it will take me to a window that looks something like this. Now, okay, I'm gonna have to enter that again, anthony.co.ke. So once you search for your name, the next thing that you need to do is, now your name is available. Now, with Hostpoa, I'd advise you to start with the minimum package. The minimum package starts with 995. You'll notice that the anthony.co.ke is available for 570 shillings. However, you will need to add, you will need to create the hosting for it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add that to my cart, and once that is added to my cart, I need to continue. Now I'll need to continue and get a hosting package. So once I've added to cart, the button is going to change to checkout, and I'm going to click checkout. And when I go to checkout, it's going to show me with a big red text that's no hosting, click to add. So if I proceed this way, I would set up this without hosting, and I would have the name registered, but I would have nowhere to place my blog. So I would click no hosting, click to add. Now this is going to allow me to choose a package. Now the packages that are available are various, and I'll not explain each feature, but I want to choose base because base is a good place to start. It's not expensive. It's one pizza's worth of hosting that will last you a whole year. So it's actually basically cheap. And if you start off with this, it is going to help you to get your blog started without a lot of issues ahead of you. So once you select the base plan, it's going to take you here that use the domain name that is already on your shopping cart and click use. And once that's there, you'll have purchased, you'll have created the order for your base. Notice it's base, the domain name anthony.co.ke, and the domain name registration, which is tied together. So for that reason, I'll not be charged for the domain name, but I will be charged for hosting at 995 shillings. Okay, so the next thing you do is go to checkout. Now, if you do not already have an account with us at HostPoa, you'll need to create an account. So you'd fill these details up, and I'm not going to fill them up. It's actually pretty simple. And once you fill them up, we actually accept M-Pesa through Paybill. So you can pay through Paybill and it will automatically set up. So once you're done with this screen, you're going to be taken to a place where after you've done everything, put in your password and agree to the terms and conditions, you're going to then be taken to a place that you can be able to pay using M-Pesa. Okay, so once that is done, you will receive an email. The email is going to indicate to you that you have purchased hosting and confirming that you've purchased hosting. And there's going to be an email that contains your account information. That will allow you to log in to something called cPanel. Now, if you're not familiar with cPanel is the way in which you access all everything within your website. So once you log into cPanel, normally you'll log into your cPanel by like your domain name, in which case I'm using siafu12.com, then /cPanel. Now it's going to generate something like this later on, but it's /cPanel. So once you do that, it's let me do it. When I do that, siafu12.com /cPanel, it's going to prompt me to put in my password. In this case, I've already probably put it in, so most likely it's not going to ask me for the password again. Oh, there it is. So it's asked you for a password in this way, and after it's asked you for your password, it will bring you to the screen that looks like this. Now, congratulations, you have websites ready. Now, once you make the payment, it's most likely that the payment that you're going to have is not going to be the payment that you're going to make. It's going to take about 1 hour before you're able to access your domain name. Now, the reason for this is because once you buy a domain name, it's registered all over the world that your domain name has just been registered. And just in case you're wondering what I mean by domain name, it's the .com or .co.ke. I'm going to use that name a number of times. So remember, domain name just means .com or .co.ke. Now, once you've logged into your cPanel in this way, and by the way, if you have any issues about anything that you've seen in this video, you can just chat us up at hostpoa.co.ke. There's a chat bubble that is everywhere in the website. You'll see this chat bubble. And if you open up this chat bubble, there's somebody available 24/7 to assist you. All right. Now, once you get here, you're going to need to either type SOFT, which is soft, and open this, or if you like scrolling, you can scroll down and look for the Softaculous app installer. Oh, where is that for me? Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here it is. So the Softaculous app installer. This is what we want to navigate to. You could search for it up here. It's a much easier and faster way. So Softaculous app installer, and when I click it, it will open up this interface. So the reason we're going to Softaculous app installer is because we want to install WordPress. Now, WordPress is the primary tool through which almost every blog is created on. Now, the good thing about WordPress is that it is non-techie friendly, if you know what I mean. Because most of the people who use WordPress most likely do not know anything about coding, and you do not actually need to know anything about coding, because with WordPress, it allows you to interact with your website and edit it and create beautiful websites without having to know how to code, which is a great thing. So once you get to the Softaculous app installer, I'm going to guide you on how to install it. So you'd click on install. Now, once you click on install, the next thing that it's going to open up is an interface that looks like this. Okay, so the first thing, the first option you're going to see is choosing either it's HTTPS or HTTP. Now, I would advise that you choose HTTP because most likely that though Hotspot would come with a free SSL, it's probably not set up yet. So the best way to go about it is clicking HTTP. By the way, the S stands for secure. So HTTP hypertext transfer protocol secure, but in this case it's not a secure network. If you are a bank and stuff like that, you need the S. However, because this is a blog and there's no banking or credit cards that you're going to be using, and you don't need to set that up, then the next option, you should leave this as it is because it's going to show you a domain name. Right now it's showing siafuatu.com. That's because that's my domain name. It's going to show you a domain name. And yeah, so the next thing you're going to need to do is that you're going to find this having the words, the letters WP. I need you to delete that, okay? And then scroll down, leave that as blank. What that's doing is that if you install it, if your WordPress, if you install it with WP on, your WordPress is not going to be installed on the home page of your website. It's going to be installed on the directory, which is WP. In this case, you want to delete this WP out of the way. Okay, so the next thing is that you're going to name your blog. So remember the name that you chose. So for this name, for this time, I'm going to choose Anthony's blog. Anthony's blog, and choose the site description. This is awesome. This is awesome, Anthony. Log. Yeah. Smiley face right there. Right. Yes, so that's why you're going to leave this as blank, the enable multi-site. You don't have that there. So the next thing you need to do is choose your username. Now it needs to be a username that you're going to remember. You can set it as your name. Remember, it needs to be most likely in small letters. So I'll set mine as Anthony. Now for the password, this is very important. You need to find a strong password. So instead of generating one for yourself, I advise that you click on this key here. That is going to generate a random strong password. And this password is going to, you can copy it to somewhere safe. Like for instance, I can copy mine to, I can copy it to somewhere like there. Please don't copy yours to a place like this. Please copy it to a good safe place like a notepad. What that allows you to do is that it prevents you from choosing a weak password that can be that a bot or can guess, or anything else can guess, but you need to store it safely because that's the way you're going to be entering into your account. Now choose your personal email address. In this case, I'm going to choose anthony.deepafrica@gmail.com as the email, as the admin email. Now every notification that comes to your blog is going to be coming to this email address. Okay, so you choose your language as English, and just in case you speak anything else, then you can choose that, but I'm going to leave mine as English. I don't think there's Swahili in here. If there was, that would be pretty cool, but I don't think it's there. Though I'm not sure that you want to blog in Swahili, do you? All right, then you'd leave all the other options as they are, all the others as they are. Put in your email address. Put in your email address. It will help you, it will give you a notification once the installation is done. And finally, click install. This should take roughly about a minute or so. It doesn't take very long to do, but it basically, it's installing right now. It's very important that you do not leave this window, do not close it before this is done, or else the installation will not be complete. Okay, so once this is done, the next thing that is going to happen is that you'll need to, once that happens, you will need to you will need to, you can then be able to log into your email address, which is great. All right, so the next thing that you need to do is, once you've logged in to your, once you've installed your WordPress, the next thing you need to do is go open another tab. You could click any of these, but open another tab and go to your domain name. So in this case, my domain name is siafuatu.com, and siafuatu.com, this was what the website was previously, so that's why it's loading that. But if you refresh it, it's going to now bring, because this was a previous cache, if you understand what that is. But in this case, it's going to load, and you notice it's already loaded Anthony's blog. And here we go. So we have WordPress installed on our website. Now, when you have WordPress, the next thing you need to do is to create a theme. Now, first, before you create a theme, you'll need to log in. So you remember the credentials that we stored, which were here. So I'm going to copy those there, and as that loads, the way you would log into the back end of your blog is through your domain name. So in my case, it's siafuatu.com, siafuatu.com/WP hyphen admin. So that's siafuatu.com, or your domain.com or .co.ke, then at WP hyphen admin. Okay, so the next thing that's going to happen here is that once you have this, you remember we created an admin, and the admin in my case was Anthony, and the password that I had copied. I'll tell it to remember me because it's my laptop, it's my computer, so it will remember me when I log in, so I don't have to log in multiple times. However, be careful not to do that on a shared computer because you'll have left your password out there. So here we go. So this is Anthony's blog. And the way it normally would load, it would be something like this. It's a basic site, not anything to write home about. It's empty, and you're not yet ready. Though you can start blogging, but it's not yet ready to blog. So what we're going to do is, after this is done, we'd need to get to the back end and customize some things. So the first thing that I'd advise that you do first is do some house cleaning. And by house cleaning, now you'll notice in this dashboard there are a lot of things, not very complicated. And you'll understand them as you go along, and you'll actually be a master of them in a couple of hours of using WordPress. So the first thing you need to do is, the first thing that I normally do when I'm creating a blog or installing WordPress is to remove everything that comes with the WordPress installation, because most of the plugins that come in here are not usable. So the first thing I need to do is I'll click here on this bar, which should would highlight everything here. And what I want to do is do a bulk action. So I'd pull down the bulk actions, I would click delete, but it's not yet deleted because I need to click apply and OK for me to delete the plugins that are here. Now the reason I've done that is because the plugins that are pre-installed most likely are not very useful, and so what I like doing is removing all of those plugins first, because later on they may become a source of vulnerability for my website, because they're going to be there and just sitting there. I also like a clean interface. So the other thing that I need to go and do is that I need to go to plugins. I normally go to plugins, and the first thing I'll do is delete every extra theme that is in here. So I'll click on this, like theme details, click delete on that, because I'm not going to use that theme. They come pre-installed with WordPress, which is okay, but not very useful. And do the same for the other one. Now we can't delete the one that we are currently using, though I wouldn't like us to use this particular theme. There's one that I'm going to recommend for us to use. All right, so the first thing that I do, once I have that deleted, I would need to go to themes, and because we're already at themes, I would click add new, that is up here. When you click add new, what happens is you're taken to an interface where you choose a new theme. Now, in this case, my advice would be that it's best if you go and buy a premium theme, and there are different places, and I'm going to place that in the show notes below. And basically what happens is that if you use a free theme, it's nice and all, but if you buy something premium, it's most likely going to have better updates. It's most likely going to also have really good a really good interface, and it's well maintained, meaning that your website will break less. It will break less because you are it's actively being maintained by people who are paid money and not just volunteers that are out there. And there are a number of free WordPress themes that are dangerous, that have viruses in them. So you need to be careful when you choose themes, because some of them may be having viruses in them. So I would advise that if you're going to use a free theme, make sure that you download it from WordPress itself, because if you download it from anywhere outside of WordPress, it may be that it has a virus within it, and you will have infected your own account. And when you've infected your own account, it will actually affect anyone who visits your site, and your site may become blacklisted, and a host of other issues you don't want to deal with. So I'll include a few links to premium themes that you can buy. One of them is Divi. Divi is a good thing that you can buy, and there are a host of others that you can buy, which are really nice and would allow you to work better. But if you're not ready to buy yet, and that's okay. I wasn't ready when I first started using WordPress. You need to select one from here. Now, when you come to this interface, what you need to do is choose a theme. So I want you to look for Hestia. Hestia is a free theme, and it's a pretty nice theme for. Seems like I need to reload that. Hestia. There are a lot of themes that are out there that are really nice. For some reason it's not loading, so let's try again. Okay, so when you choose Hestia, we would choose not tiny Hestia, but Hestia itself. Now, if you want to create blogs that are nice, Hestia is a good theme. It's free, and you can be able to create something beautiful with it. You'd click install. By the way, if you didn't notice that, I clicked install, and then you'd click on activate. Activate the theme. It's a theme that will allow you to blog without having to spend money, and it also looks good. Now you'll be brought to this interface. Remember, we had interacted with this interface before. And so I would click the theme that we had before and delete that as well, because I like keeping a clean interface. I like keeping my theme and everything within here. I want to use it. I want to be actively using it. If I'm not, I'll delete it, because it may be a source of problems going into the future. Okay. So now that you have your theme installed, congratulations. We can actually check out how this looks by if you just bring your mouse around here and right click on visit site and open it on a new tab. You will see that your theme will have changed because we installed a new theme. Remember the way the other one looked? So here it is. Now we have a new theme installed and it looks better, and our theme is actually taking shape. Now with this, we'll need to first of all customize the theme, and there are several ways of doing that. You can do it on here and click customize, or if you're already here, you can click customize. And what that's going to do for you is that it's going to open up an interface that allows you to make this look the way you want it to be. So maybe you have a favorite color that you want your theme to look like, and you have you have different ways that you want your site to look. So this is going to help you. This interface is going to help you create something that is actually beautiful and that you're going to enjoy working with. So on this interface, first thing you need to do is change the site's identity. So if you have a logo, that's something you can explore, and you can use something like Logo Maker, logomaker.com. Logomaker.com is a free resource that you can be able to create a logo with. So if you're interested in checking that out, check it out. It's a free resource. All you need to do is attribute them by placing a small link somewhere in your website saying that you used their resource. That's all, and you can be able to create some really nice logos in there. So you can check out Logo Maker, play around with it. So you can come and create, add your logo there, and change the way this looks. So for instance, we can change my name. You remember we set it as Anthony's blog. We can actually change this to this is amazing Anthony's blog. As you can tell by now, I have quite a strong opinion of myself. Sorry. So now the next thing you need to do is create a site icon. The site icon is a smaller representation, and that is shown above here. It's probably out of the fold, but the icon that is shown slightly above the customer is on the tab that shows what site you are on, and it's going to be replace what is currently there to your own logo. So for illustration's sake, let's do that here. So when you click on that, it will bring this interface, and you select files, click select files. And in this case, I'm going to go and select my file from, I'm going to put in Hospoa's logo. So I have logo there, and it's going to put in Hospoa's logo. So that's my icon there, and there's my logo. I'd expand it so that it's all seen. And there we go. And so the site identity is there, and you'll notice that the logo has been placed up here, which is beautiful, right? And there we go. Then you can change the icon to something else. Now the icon that I have is not really the best out there. So for instance, I can use this and select, when cropping this, I can probably go somewhere like this. I can actually select it as that, and it's going to show POA. You notice how it shows there? Yeah, so probably going to expand this slightly. There we go. Crop image, and we have it as our icon. So once I click save, you'll notice, or probably not, the icon here has changed. So save and publish. Remember to save and publish every time you do any change. Make sure you save and publish it, because you will lose the changes, and that's not going to be fun when you lose the changes. So the first thing is site identity, then appearance settings. We'll go to general settings and begin. So I want my page to load as a full width layout. I don't want it to look like this. I don't want it to have sidebars. So I'll set it as full width. So when it shows like this, is that there is no sidebar shown. Then the blog sidebar, I like my blog sidebar on the right hand side, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Just in case you want to to change it to something else, that's okay. That's okay as well. Okay. And you can leave it as enable boxed layout or full width layout. Now full width is where the site from edge to edge is being seen, like you can see in there. Or if you choose boxed, then it would constrain it a bit and leave a bit of space on the edge and edge. Okay, and remember, I will say this a million times if I need to, because it's really important. Remember to save your changes every time, because if you do not, you're going to lose your changes. Then you can come and just select a font. So you can select a font for your header. So the way you want your headers to look, and you already have examples of how that will be. So you can select a font on, depending on what you're looking for. You can select something fancy, or you can select something simple. You notice that this is now different. This is slightly different, a bit of a thinner font for the header. I think that looks good. And I can choose something different for that. Let's go with Abel, and it will change the normal body font. And there we go. You notice that my font here is Abel. Yeah, and that's that. So let's save and publish that as well. And then, oh, something I forgot in this is font sizes. So you can increase your font sizes. Like I can increase the font sizes for this to something like 16, and you'll notice how the font here changes to the particular font. And I can change the heading font to something like 40. You choose whatever works for you, whatever looks good. Choose that, because it's ultimately your blog. So you'll need to choose something that you like, something that tickles your fancy. So for instance, I think I'm going to leave mine at 40, 43. Yeah, that's a bit big. Yeah, I think I can leave it at 41. 41 is okay. Okay, save and publish. And we can go back and we can select the background image. Now the background image is going to be shown at this edge. And if we selected the background image, for instance, if we went and chose one of the images, let's just upload one, for example. Let's choose one from here. Okay. So if we choose an image, let's choose this girl here. So the background image is, I normally like leaving mine open. The reason I do that is I think it's more clean and doesn't have a lot of complication at the back. So the background image basically would show on every background every time that you're using any user visits your site, they're going to see that background image on every one of the posts, whether it's a post, whether it's a page, whether it's a home page or the blog page. All of them are going to be showing there, which depending on whether you like that kind of thing, then you might enjoy that or probably not. Okay, so as that finishes loading, it probably was a big file. You could close that and it will still be there. So let's see what it's done. It's almost done. Okay, so something I can talk about when we're at this point is that when you're creating a WordPress blog, it's important to think about what style of writing you're going to have, because when you're creating a blog, it's important to choose a style and stick to it, because you want people coming back over and over again. And if your style is too varied and appeals to audiences that are of very different sizes and configurations, then that may be a problem. That I may see it once and not come back. So choosing a style is important. So if you're going to choose to do a fashion blog, then it's important that you choose that you actually work with in fashion as a fashion blogger, and you discuss things that are around fashion. Because if it's not going to kill you if you don't, but it's important for you to choose a direction, and once you choose that direction, then it becomes your way to go. Now, that file is not uploading for some reason. Probably it's size, and I need to see how to work on that. But all the same, I think you get my point. Okay, so once you're done with that front page sections, now you do not need on Hestia. You won't need to work on this because you won't really be having a front page. Now, unless you want your blog to always be having a front page, there are different ways of implementing this. Okay, so you can choose to have one standard page that is going to be shown every time, or you could choose to be having a blog like your latest post showing. So what I did is I clicked down here, static front page. So you can choose to have either the latest post that you've done, or you could choose a static front page. Now, in this case, if we went for the static front page, for instance, and we came into the front page settings, then you can be able to adjust how this looks, and your site can actually look this beautiful. And so, for instance, if we went for this, for example, then you can come and select the different and customize your site as we go. So change. We can be able to come and edit this. So we can come and edit some of these things. For instance, you can come and click on this and edit this background for it to be different. So and change what all of this buttons right on the custom section. So in the big title section, for instance, you can come and change the background image. Let's try and upload another image. It's possible that the image I installed, I tried to upload, was not all that awesome. Okay, so let's say this is you, and that's your face. So with that image, we can choose that image, and once you've chosen that image, it's the one that's going to be showing in the background. So for instance, you can see it's that beautiful image of you smiling, if that's you in this case. And you can change the title to, remember we'd call it Anthony's blog. Now that we have a lady back here, let's call it Lisa's blog. Okay, so Lisa's blog, and the text down here, you can say the amazing Lisa, for instance, the amazing Lisa, and you can create a button. The button is view my Facebook or my Instagram. So view my Facebook, and you can put in your Facebook handle. So for instance, ours is Hostpoa, and there we go. So when somebody clicks on that link, it's going to take them to Hostpoa. You notice if we click this on a new tab, it's going to take us to our Facebook page, which I would like you to also like. If you're at this point in this video, then it means you are interested in what Hostpoa does. So please like our page. I'll be really happy. I'll jump to the moon and back. Well, probably not, but I'll really be happy if you liked our Facebook page. Okay, so now that I'm back from the moon, happy because you've liked the page, we can proceed. Okay, now you can choose to have this on the left hand side, so you can show the face on the right or the right hand side. I think center looks nice. Right hand side actually looks nice as well. So let's leave that as that. Okay. Then remember, save and publish. Let's go back. Let's go to the about section, and in this, no. So let's undo that. So you want to select something like that, and about Lisa. About Lisa. And in this place, you can say, I am amazing. I am amazing. I am Lisa. Well, probably don't. If you have a high opinion of yourself as I do, you probably are not going to go very far. So please don't just write "I am amazing." Write something else about yourself, something genuine, something that your readers will actually like and enjoy. So I am in this case because we are actually doing a demonstration. So yes, Lisa is going to be amazing. I am I am amazing, Lisa. There we go. I am amazing, Lisa. And remember, these are images that you can actually change. So let's even change this and create, let's add an image there. Let's add an image. So for instance, we can click add media, upload a photo. You can upload a photo up there. You remember how to do it, right? You click on select files, go back to our trusty photos, and we can add this funny funny thing. Not sure how that looks. Actually, that doesn't look very nice in there. So I might not want to keep that because it doesn't have a transparent background. We could actually even add a HostPoa logo for the sake of illustration, and it would have a transparent background in the back. Now you need to be careful at what you do with your with the way your blog looks, because looks are important. Don't be fooled. Looks are important. So it's be careful not to create the wrong impression. Just make sure that you're selecting pictures that look good and that help to illustrate who you are, what your brand is all about. Yeah, so there we go. And we can even put this image to be at the right hand side. So you can write something about yourself in there that helps the reader to know more about who you are. There you go. So if it overflows, it will go that way. So all the same, just write something heartfelt, and I think I'll belabor that point. Okay, save and publish. Then in the blog section, now the number of items you want to be placed here. Now, since this is a blog for you, you need to place probably a large number of items. So let's say you want to place 10 pieces to be written here. So 10 pieces are going to be shown here. Every time somebody comes to this blog is going to see 10 of your latest posts that are there. So for instance, you can call it Lisa's. Okay, sorry, here we go. Lisa's blog. I do need to reload that. And remember when we were saying we were talking about that you need to ensure that you publish and save. This is one of the reasons why. For some reason, your connection could drop. Your connection to the internet could drop for just a slight second, and when that happens, it's not actually good. So you see, all the changes that we've made are still there. So you remember we were in the front page sections. We were at the blog. Is log, and there we go. And this is amazing. This as log. There we go. And remember, it set this at 10. Okay, and click save and publish. Okay. Now in the contact section, you can add contacts about yourself, and you can even change the background to this. Let's put in something like, okay, let's see what picture we can get. let's select a picture of this cup of coffee. Okay, so we have a background of a cup of coffee, probably inviting people to get in touch with me. I'll buy you a cup of coffee, stuff like that. So you can come and click on any of this. So get in touch, and you can, when you click on this, let's click on that, save and publish. Oh yeah, so here we are. So change this subtitle. So let's call this I will buy you a cup of coffee. All right, contact us. Yeah, so there we go. So you can change this, find us at the office here. So when you click on that, it brings you to contact content. Find us at the office, give us a ring, and it contains that information. Now the reason you're not seeing this is that it's in, yeah, here we go. So you can change this to be something like development house, 10th floor. Development house, 10th floor, that's where our office is located. Floor, there we go. Right. Save and publish. If you want a contact form, you can install that in the plugin section. However, I don't think that's quite important. You can add your phone number. That's in case you want one. Let's add ours, 254 720 502 500. Okay. Now, I noticed that normally if I do this, it normally will leave a gap, which in this case is good. But just in case you don't want this gap, you can add that gap. You can come back here. This yes looks like code, and I remember I told you that WordPress does not have code, but there are places that you can use code. And in this case, this is where one of those places, and you can be able to adjust this from there. And we are open Monday to Friday, and there we go. I think that's okay. So you can put in a form. You can install a form that is going to come in here if you wish to do that. And actually, if you'd want us to do it together with you, we can do that. But first, let's save and publish. Okay, so you can have header options, and I encourage you to play around with all of this. So header options, the very top bar, you can have that or disable it. In this case, if we disable it, well, not much happens, does it? Oh yeah, there is a very top bar. Let's see what happens if we disable that. Oh yeah, there we are. So there's a very top bar. Actually, what we've done by removing that is we've created a top bar menu. So you can have a top menu and then a lower menu here. But in this case, it looks nice and clean when there's nothing way at the top, where the picture is right full there. So let's keep it that way. Okay, so navigation, you can have the navigation looking like this. So for instance, you can have it looking like this. This is the way that it's this and this here. And you can have it centered. So if you put it centered, the logo will come here at the center and the things coming here. So if you have a logo, I'd encourage you to have a logo. It will help you play around with this. Or you can have it, you can add some things up here. Now, normally what happens is that you can put an ad up here, though that's not for this particular blog post, not for this video, but you can add something up here and have a widget or a sidebar or an ad from Google if you want to make money from that. However, I'm going to leave it as it was. I like the way it looks this way, or actually I can leave it here. Yeah, and then I'll save and publish with it being centered like that. Okay, so click Save and Publish. Then the header image. Now, this you do not have to change. This you do not have to change. Leave that as is. Okay, so let's go to colors. You can select what your main color is going to be. So since this is Lisa's blog, we'll leave this color as pink. And the background color, this is the background color here, which you can change to something like brown. Not sure how good that looks. Blue, probably. Yeah. However, I actually like the gray, so I think I'll choose the gray. The gray looked good. I can stick with that gray. Probably tad bit lighter. Yeah, there we go. And I'll leave the buttons. So the accent color is the color in which the buttons are going to look, and things like this are going to look. So there we go. Save and publish. Okay, the menus. So with menus, you can create menus. Menus are these ones here, and what you see up here. So the menus, you can have several. When you create several pages, like once you create something like a home page or a contact page, then those menu items would show up here. So you can be able to come and like add links here. So for instance, if you wanted to add a menu item, let's say you wanted to add an item that takes people to your Facebook, so you'd come and click there, go to custom links, and for instance you can choose facebook.com post poa, and the link text is going to be view our Facebook. Okay, view our Facebook, and you can add that, and it's going to, you'll notice though it's a bit grayed out, it will be added here, view our Facebook. And you can add custom links, you can add pages. So for instance, you can add both these pages are added, so you can add home page, sample page, whatever page you've created. So for instance, if you create a contact page, then you can add that there. You can add, let's say you have a really nice post that you like, you can add that to the menu up there. Or you can add a category. So let's say you have categories like shoes, dresses, and so on. You can add that there as well. But I'm going to leave mine as that, and choose this as a primary menu. And it's going to be shown every time up here. Now, you can also choose this as a footer menu. When you do that, it's going to be shown down here. So notice, you remember the three things that we had. So we had home, blog. Now in this case, it shows as a Facebook icon. So that's what we've done. So it shows as a Facebook icon. Okay, save and publish. And let's go back to the menus. After we've gone to menus, there's widgets. You don't need to change that for now. Static front page, don't need to change that for now, and additional CSS. These are a bit more complex. You do not need to know that for now. So the first thing, the next thing we're going to do before we leave this customized section is we are going to install our Pirate Form plugin for us to be receiving questions on our form. So when you click activating, first, I think we hadn't saved, that's why it's saying this, so don't reload. Let's save and publish. Okay, so now that's done. If it requires to reload, it's not going to be a problem. So it's currently installing the contact plugin. It's going to have this plugin at the back of this, so that if somebody wants to just leave you a message, they can do that on this form here. Okay, we might probably want to reload this. It's an interesting bar there, right there. Okay, so now that we reloaded this, we want to, once it finishes, here we go. So we want to customize the contact box that is back here. Oh, there we go. It actually installed. So there it is, a beautiful contact box that people can leave their name, their email and message to you, and you'll receive that as an email. And if you click customize on this, it probably is going to have, yeah, there it is. So it's installed. So you can be able to, people are going to be able to use that. So now that we've done all of those changes, let's open a new tab and see how our new website looks. cfuatu.com. So remember it was plain before, and within this time we have been able to create a beautiful website right there. Lisa's blog, this is amazing Lisa. Remember you could add more content here, and then Lisa's blog. You can do, I think some of these changes need to be customized. I need to customize this to look a bit better. And the contact page that is right there. Let's try opening this in an incognito window that does not recognize that it's us, and see how everyone else out there would be seeing our website. So Lisa's blog, and there we go. So with these changes as have been implemented, it basically gives a very basic overview of your website. It's actually starting to take form. Now there are a few more things that you need to do for your blog to truly be active. The first thing we're going to do, now that we've entered into this area, just confirming a few things. A few things are where they should be. This is amazing, Lisa. Just make a correction. Lisa's log. Changing the world one word at a time. Changing the world one word at a time. Okay. Save that. A few of our changes may have been erased when we reloaded. That's a bummer. So let's just change that real quick. Okay. So remember we changed this image to a cup of coffee, and there it is. Okay. Let's change this area. Development house, 10th floor. Floor, and we'll leave the rest as +2547120502502 Okay. You click save and publish. Saved and published. When we exit, and there it is. There is our blog. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So now that you've already done this, the final thing, it's not a very difficult thing, but it's the most important, is doing your first post. So the first post you're gonna do, now you're gonna need to come to posts and view all posts. Now, as you will notice that there's already a post that was there. It came pre-installed. I would advise you to just delete this, the hello world. And once you delete that, it's going to give you an empty page. So create a new post. Now this is the way that you're going to be blogging through. Now when you're coming to log in every time, this is the way you're going to be blogging through. So you come and enter your title, how I made my first blog. How I made my first blog. How I made my first blog. And I would come and place some text. It was wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, you do not want to do blah, 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 but you get the point. So you'd come in place and talk about all the things that you're going to talk about. You'd probably want to add an image. So you remember the image of the funny phone, you can add that there. You can actually change the size of that image to be a bit bigger and click publish. Now once you click publish, it's going to be published. It's now out there to the world, for the world to see. Now once you've done that, you'd probably want to set a featured image. The featured image, let's say our featured image is the coffee. How I made my first blog and I drank a lot of cups of coffee. For a good illustration, let's go to lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum generator. Now what this does, you don't need to remember this, by the way. What this does is that it creates blocks of text for you of just meaningless words that are out there, and for the sake of seeing how your site would look like with text full, and because right now I do not want to have to write this many 500 words, a 500 word article, I just want to copy this. So I'll come and copy this and place it in here. Where is this? There we are. It was wonderful. So when I say it was wonderful, instead of the blah blah blah, let's add the text that I placed. So with this, now I wanted to, the reason I wanted to do this is to illustrate a point. With images, you can place them, you can make them wrap around your text. So for instance, in this case, if we've made it, if we made the image that we have here, we can make it wrap around text in the way that we would wish it to wrap. So for instance, if we place it up here, so you can wrap it around, align to right, or align it to left, or like leave a gap in between. So let's say we align it to right, and then down here we add another image, probably of the coffee. So add media. And let's add, or probably Lisa, let's add Lisa. We decided to call this lady Lisa. So let's add Lisa's image in here. What that did is actually replaced the image. So Control Z should do that. So click on a different place, like let's say here, and add media. And let's add Lisa to the mix. And let's make Lisa's photo align to the right. So Lisa's photo is aligned to the right. Let's make Lisa's photo just slightly bigger. So you notice that this looks like this, and it makes your text look, it complements your blog by adding text that looks, adding pictures that look beautiful and help complement. And you click update. Now, it will make your site look prettier. So now, once this is done, it has been taken to your blog. It's already published. Now you can look at, let's refresh this page, or even actually let's open and see it the way a viewer would see it. So, cf2.com. So if a person comes to siafuatu.com, they'll notice the beautiful picture of Lisa that is right there, and the logo and so on. Remember the way we created it, and Lisa's blog. So the first thing, you remember the featured image? This is the featured image, and this is what they would see. So let's say we've done that. This is one of the articles, and if you clicked on it, it would take you then to the specific article that you can read more about it. And you'll notice that the featured image is still shown in the background like that. And you'll notice the way we created the image, and it looks like that. Beautiful, right? So the other thing that you can do with this, let's close this and create one more post. And this is, I promise, this is the final thing we're going to do. Your site is basically done. You should be celebrating by now. So the final thing we're going to do is create one more post so that you can see how it would look like. So my second blog post. Remember the lorem ipsum we did? There it is again. And let's add a photo here. Add media, and let's add something new. Let's add a new image. So let's say Lisa is talking about her two friends. You can actually copy two images there. So Lisa is talking about her two friends, the Mzungu and the African. So let's say that's what Lisa wants to talk about in her second blog post. And so we will wait for that to fill in, to upload. Okay, so as that loads, you can actually close that and wait for it as it loads. Let's say the category that we're going to place in this is, let's add a new category, Lisa and friends. Lisa and friends. Let's add that new category. So this category is going to be, if we add a new category like that, so Lisa and friends. So that's the category that's going to be there. Let's set the featured image as Lisa herself. The other images are still uploading. So let's see whether it's done uploading. I believe it should be by now. Actually, that image is this one, is not showing a preview here. Or I may be mistaken on that particular point. Okay, so that image has an issue, and I'll need to check on that next time. So, but the other Mzungu image is loading. So let's look for someone, an African, because the story is about Mzungu and African. So let's look for an African, big hair. There we go. So here's the Mzungu, insert into post. So we inserted that picture somewhere. Oh, here they are. Here's Lisa and her two friends. One is Mzungu and one is not. One is African. So so once we do this, I'm doing this for the sake of illustration and just to show something in this. So for instance, the Mzungu friend right there and the African friend right there. So with that, actually let's call it Lisa and friends. Lisa and friends. Let's publish that. Now, once we publish this, Lisa and friends, there we go. So Lisa and friends, let's look at how that would look from Lisa Lisa's blog. So siafuatu.com. Lisa's blog. And remember the way that it was just one blog post. So now it's two, and they would continue, and there would be up to 10. Remember, we chose 10. So here it is. So your blog will start taking shape as you publish more articles. It would show there. And remember, this is Lisa and Trends, and the uncategorized selection. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something, gotten entertained, and we've built a beautiful site together. Yeah, so if you'd like to hit us up, we are at HostPoa on Twitter. We are at HostPoa on Facebook. You can visit hostpoa.co.ke and just tell us that you like the video that you watched. And stay tuned, we're going to be doing more tutorials. I hope that your blog is going to look nice. If you would like to talk about the stuff you're building, I would love to learn more about it. So in this video, there's comments down below. Please share links to the blog that you've created. I'm sure it looks wonderful. I'd love to have a look at it. And I'm sure the people who are watching this as well would love to have a look at it. So please do that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're seeing this. Okay, so bye. By the way, if you need any assistance from HostPoa, as always, we are available on hostpoa.co.ke. All right. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for watching this. Bye.